Many people are pretty much talking about this on social media, on news sites, and I mean, hell, even freaking news reporters are even talking about this. I'm like, you guys should be reporting the weather, the world, and the fact this is causing actual media is also surprising. But anyways, I will talk about this in another video, but Xbox is also doing the same thing. But again, another video. So, how I feel about this whole situation? Well, like everyone says, it's absolutely horrible. And like what many other also said, it should definitely be optional. Because let's also be real. A lot of people left DVDs into streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, and so on and so forth. Not many people are buying DVDs anymore and decide to go to streaming services. And now they're basically trying to do the same thing when it comes to consoles by removing the disc. It's bad enough that Sony removed like over 500 plus movies, and people are not getting their refunds, unfortunately, because Sony lost their licensing to these movies, so they're just gonna remove it. You're not gonna get your refund back. So imagine what's gonna be like when it comes to owning digital games. If these games are not popular anymore, they just decide to get rid of it due to reasons, then we're also screwed. And I believe this was gonna happen in the PlayStation 6, just being over expensive with no physical copy of a game. Now, like I said, there's people that pretty much prefer a physical game. People prefer having a CD. And people might say, oh, well, this is the future of gaming. Don't you, why should we carry CDs or stuff that many people may not play anymore? Because when you own a physical game, you own it, right? Like when it comes to digital, you may own it digitally, but at some point, it's going to be removed. So we're getting at the point where, like this quote, you own nothing and be happy. And that is the worst thing I ever heard as a consumer. That is anti-consumer. That is beyond ridiculous, in my honest opinion. And it's just sad that this is where we are heading at when it comes to gaming. Another thing that I hear is that, oh well, why does it matter? And like, it should matter. And I feel the reason why that it should matter, because now it's being forced down our throats to just accept it. You know how everything should just be accepting. For instance, you remember how iPhones used to come with headphones and chargers all together? Now everything is separate. The phone, it's already expensive enough. Then you have to get AirPods, which is like $200 whatever dollars, and also you have to get the phone charger separately, depending on what brand you have. It's just terrible. It's really sad. But in this case, I believe, like I said, it should be optional. And I know people are gonna feel differently about it. And the reason why I worry about this in the future, because if 30 million people have already pre-ordered GTA 6 with no physical copy, then I worry about the future of gaming. And the fact that all these companies are following the same suit of digital platforming is what I'm concerned about. Again, if people would still prefer the digital and not care about physical anymore, cool. That's on you. More power to you. But it's not fair for the people that still prefer physical copies, because God forbid, what if something happens to the console? People might say, oh well, we live in a world where everything should be online and Wi-Fi, but you realize those things could be broke. Like we may lose power. We may not have online access to these things. So what happens when you don't have any online access due to reasons? Maybe the weather gone bad, maybe your Wi-Fi is down, but you need Wi-Fi to play your games, but you can't play because the Wi-Fi is down, something happened with your service, and now you can't play it, which is crazy. I don't know, man. This is very sad, very sad. So what's gonna happen? It may happen. Will we all adapt to it, whether we like it or not? who knows? But the other thing I feel bad for is anyone that works in retail, because the whole point is basically you selling physical copies of these games, which is why they have it stocked into the walls in terms of people trying to buy it or not. And now when that gets removed, what do you have? If there's no actual physical games, are you just gonna put like the other stuff that they put in there, like the Funko Pops and the toys and knickknacks? I don't know, but this is just like then that means GameStop will be completely removed. What about all these other retail stores like Best Buy and stuff like that? I don't even think in several Best Buys they don't have DVDs anymore. At least that's what I hear. So I'm not liking the direction that is going in right now, but at least there's a huge uproar regarding of this decision, and I feel like if it does go back to the point where physical copies will be a thing, then great. But I feel like in the future they're always going to try to ways to remove that, because these companies want to save like an extra couple of pennies or a couple of dollars. It's always the business strategy. So at least we the consumers can always do something about it, right? We the consumers can always say no to our wallets and spend it on something else, because they need our money, right? But again, to each their own. Everyone's gonna have a different point of view on it. But anyways, you guys let me know how you feel, because I'm not happy with this idea. And again, after this, I'll talk about Xbox, because I hate the direction that they're going into regarding a PlayStation. But there's other things too, because it's also about Xbox Game Pass.